Continuing on with the Clone Wars in the Nightsister Witches arc, I hopped on over to the next episode on the list, Season 5, Episode 1, Revival. As we know from the previous episode, Maul and Savage were hunting for Kenobi. We open up inside of a space station that is owned by the Intergalactic Banking Clan. The lights begin to flicker, droids investigate the silence, and then Maul and Savage methodically march forward, slaughtering the droids. It's one of my favorite openings in the entire show. A little hunter and hunted. It's eerie. It's brutal. I think this duo is going to leave a pretty solid impression on me. Maul says he's going to train Savage, not as his brother, but as his master. There was the slightest hint of headbutting between them. Savage seemed a little distracted by a bunch of credits that were stacked in a safe, but that butting of the heads might just be, a little bit of brotherly love. Brothers always fight. I don't have brothers, but I have a lot of friends with brothers, and they're always fighting. Anyway, Maul says there's always two, a master and an apprentice. They get into a little scuffle, and Maul easily defeats his brother. Obi-Wan approaches the space station alongside Addie, which have we seen Addie before? I don't know if I've seen. I have a shitty memory to begin with. Anyway, she's a Jedi as well. I'm curious how long a time gap between this episode and the previous one there is in terms of story time. I don't think that's really mentioned, right? But it seems like some time has passed. This doesn't directly pick up, it doesn't seem like. Anyway, as Snivian tells Obi-Wan and Addie that the two Sith took one of his ships and they're heading towards the Surtar system, where apparently they're gonna find some pirates to help them out. I like this cat and mouse game so far. I'm curious why Maul and Savage are kind of on the run. I'm assuming they're planning something big and being patient. Maybe there's something in the system that will be of importance to them. One thing's for sure though, if they want to stay hidden and plot their next step in secrecy, they need to not leave a giant trail of breadcrumb corpses everywhere they go. So Savage and Maul's ship approaches Falorum. Some pirates attach themselves to their ship. They board, they infiltrate, and Maul offers them a proposition instead of killing him. Work for them? He says money is no object. The pirates will receive riches if they pledge their loyalty to Maul. I'm curious where this is all going. If Maul's goal was to hire some pirates, this seems like a convoluted way to go about it. Then again, I guess it is a relatively quiet way to get the attention of some nefarious folks. Drift kind of aimlessly in space, present yourself as a stranded ship, allow the pirates to board and then take action. You could kind of hide your intent from everyone else in a way. So more pirates arrive. One of them says there's no way Hondo is going to throw in with Maul. There's no way they're going to form an alliance together. Maul then says Hondo's base will be his. Basically, he's going to destroy everything unless Hondo accepts his ultimatum. I suppose Maul is attempting to recruit an entire army for his plan. I guess, if that's the case, I'm really curious what his plan is. At the moment, it seems like chaos. I don't know what the hell his plan is, but who knows? Maybe Maul and Hondo will recognize common enemies. I'm sure Hondo will accept Maul's offer, maybe. Whatever it is the offer just to work for him or die? That's what it seems like so far, at least. And I don't really know what getting these pirates on board with him will really accomplish. So Kenobi contacts Hondo. Obviously, we all know that they go way back, as we've seen. I'm trying to remember the last time we saw Hondo in an episode. I feel like it's been a while. Anyway, Hondo doesn't seem to have any ill will against Obi-Wan Kenobi personally. It always seems like a little friendly feud, but some of the Republic's methods, or rather lack of action, has caused great harm to his planet, so that's what pisses off Hondo. Hondo kind of needs the Jedi. He needs the Republic. His chaotic operation needs a counterbalance of order. And when Grievous and the minions are running around the galaxy willy-nilly taking over everything in sight, then even the pirates suffer. Hondo asks Kenobi if he's going to help against Maul and Savage, and Kenobi says he will help with the Sith. I'm really curious if Maul somehow knows the history between Kenobi and Hondo, and if this entire plot is to lure Kenobi somewhere he might feel has a little bit of loyalty to him. Maybe butter up Hondo a little bit as well, give this illusion of comfort and support, and then strike. Or maybe it's all just a happy coincidence that of all the places with pirates in the entire galaxy, Darth Maul happened to pick the one place out of 100 billion other places that has a pirate who knows the person he wants to kill. Oh, there's so much convenience in Star Wars. So Maul and Savage land with their new pirate crew, and it's like an invading force. Kenobi and Addie land their ship close to the battle. Maul says it's too soon for the Jedi to be here. His plan isn't ready yet. Well, shit, Maul. You run around the galaxy making all sorts of noise, stealing traceable ships, leaving a carrier-sized wake everywhere you go. You don't even try to keep a low profile, you're kinda dumb. You are a giant red guy with horns and black tattoos all over your body and robot legs. Throw on a disguise. I don't know what he expects. A lightsaber fight ensues between Maul, Savage, Obi-Wan, and Addy. They're fighting through Hondo's shanty town while the two groups of pirates battle on the streets. As this is happening, Addy is fighting one-on-one with Savage in a brutal scene. Savage pushes her against a wall and then just sprints right towards her and spears her in the chest like just an insanely hard football tackle. And for whatever reason, this moment was way more brutal to me than like a quick lightsaber death or a blaster. It was a body slam, a check, a spear, a tackle. It was an incredibly personal and brutal kill. So now Addy is dead. Savage finishes her off with a lightsaber, and now it's 2-on-1. The music during the scene is fantastic, reminiscent of Duel of the Fates, as the visuals in the scene are reminiscent of that Phantom Menace moment as well. So Obi-Wan falls back and regroups with Hondo. The brothers continue their pursuit. Eventually, it is once again Obi-Wan against both Maul and Savage, and Obi-Wan has his lightsaber and Addy's lightsaber now. A little bit of dual-wielding action from Kenobi, which I don't think we've seen yet, right? I think this is the first time we've seen that. Anyway, the lightsaber fight was great, fast and kinetic, cramped in this narrow corridor. Kenobi fighting both of them off. It seemed like he was more on the offensive than playing defense, which was surprising to me. Eventually, all the lightsabers are clashing, and Obi-Wan kicks Savage's knee, sending him off balance, and Obi-Wan cuts off Savage's arm. Maul gets pissed, pushes Obi-Wan down the hall, the ceiling collapses, in plot convenience, and the two groups are now separated. The show does this kind of stuff a lot. I always call it the villain of the week. Characters escape in the nick of time, or something conveniently happens that will ensure they will meet again. It's not a good or bad thing, it's just something incredibly noticeable and glaring, and it happens a lot. I mean, it's almost exactly like what happens at the end of The Force Awakens, right? A break in the ground separating Kylo and Rey as Starkiller base crumbles. Convenience. Very reminiscent of moments in the Clone Wars. The next scene was great. Hondo and his reunified men begin to fire on Maul and Savage as they run for their ship. They're being pelted. Maul's leg gets blasted off. He's hobbling. Savage and Maul have to help one another escape. Eventually, Maul and Savage make it to their ship. It gets shot down by Hondo's men as they try to take off, but they're able to jettison an escape pod, ensuring that they will once again appear in a future episode. We cut to Palpatine talking to Yoda, Obi-Wan, and Anakin and Mace Windu. Palpatine tells Obi-Wan to stop chasing Maul. He's of no importance, he says. The important matter is Dooku and the Separatist threat. I love seeing these moments, the ultimate string puller, someone with no checks on his power, manipulating his most trusted helpers, moving the chess pieces, dictating the direction of everything while his nefarious intent goes unnoticed. Palpatine's entire plan of action could be defined as plausible deniability. He's steering the ship off course, intentionally, and if he's caught, he could always play dumb. I love seeing how everything is being set up for the future. I mean, we know the outcome, we know the conclusion, but it's fun to see retroactively the small moments that led the narrative to that final conclusion. Overall, I like this episode. We saw alliances form and crumble. We saw vulnerability from Maul and Savage. We saw Palpatine pulling the strings and shifting focus. Now, I think this is technically the last episode of this arc. I know that there are 2 more episodes that are on my list for this arc. Season 6, Episode 8, The Disappeared, and Season 6, Episode 9, The Disappeared Part 2. I'm assuming those don't follow this narrative, at least with Maul and Savage. At least that's what I've heard. I've heard that from people. And I've heard their Jar Jar episodes. And a lot of you guys don't think that they're necessary to watch for this arc. I still want to watch them though, but the DVD pack that I borrowed from my nephew doesn't have Season 6, so I need to pick Season 6 up. That being said, I do want to watch those 2 episodes. And more so than anything, I'm curious if Maul and Savage come back in the arcs that I still have left to watch. Or if that's one of those unresolved plot points that people talked about when the Clone Wars was canceled. I really have no idea. I have no idea if Maul comes back. I have no idea if Maul, I didn't watch the Clone Wars panel because I didn't want to get spoiled. And I haven't been spoiled yet. And I'm not going to check the comment section of this video because I guarantee there's going to be spoilers down there. Anyway, I guess I'll find out. Time to pick up Season 6. HelloGreedo, out.